Day 365. I stared at the bouquet on my doorstep, white gardenias this time, arranged with the same meticulous care as every arrangement before it. No card, no name, just flowers, like clockwork, every single morning for an entire year. "You've got to be kidding me," I muttered, picking up the bouquet and carrying it inside. My apartment was beginning to look like a botanical garden. Flowers on every surface, in various stages of bloom and decay, a year's worth of anonymous gifts that I still couldn't explain. I'd tried everything. Asked the florist. They had no information, just a standing order paid in cash a year in advance. Checked security cameras. The delivery person was different every time. Always a legitimate service. None of them knew who'd hired them. Even hired a private investigator for 2 weeks before deciding that was insane and a waste of money. Whoever was sending these flowers was either very romantic or very creepy. I still hadn't decided which. My phone rang. "Lily, please tell me today's flowers came with a name. Please." White gardenias. No card. Same as always. "Sophia, this is driving me insane, and I'm not even the one receiving them. How are you so calm?" "I'm not calm. I'm resigned. It's been a year, Lily. A full year of flowers. If he wanted to murder me, he would have done it by now." "He?" "It's definitely a he. Women don't do this kind of thing. This is male obsession. Or male romance. Same thing, different packaging." I set the gardenias in water, finding space on my already crowded kitchen counter. "I have to get to work. Client meeting in an hour. You're just going to accept the mystery forever. What choice do I have? Whoever he is, he's clearly patient. Eventually he'll reveal himself. Or he'll get bored and stop. It's been 365 days, Soph. I don't think he's getting bored." After we hung up, I stood looking at my flower collection. A year of anonymous gifts. A year of someone thinking about me every single day. A year of carefully chosen arrangements, never the same flower twice. Always something meaningful. I'd started keeping a journal of them around month 3, sketching each arrangement and researching the meanings. Red roses, classic love. Forget-me-nots, true love and memories. Daffodils, new beginnings. Orchids, rare beauty and strength. Whoever this was, he was saying something with each bouquet. I just didn't know what, or why, or who. My client meeting was at a new restaurant in Tribeca. Moretti's, upscale Italian that had opened 6 months ago to rave reviews. The owner wanted new branding, fresh menu designs, something elegant but modern. I arrived 10 minutes early, portfolio in hand, and was shown to a private dining room in the back. Interesting choice for a business meeting. But maybe the owner valued privacy. "Miss Chen." "Thank you for coming." A man entered, tall, probably mid-30s, dark hair slicked back, wearing an expensive suit that fit him like it was custom-made, clean-shaven with a strong jawline. And when he moved to shake my hand, I caught a glimpse of ink on his neck just above his collar. "I'm Dante Moretti. Please, sit." His handshake was firm, warm, and lasted just a fraction too long. His eyes, dark, intense, studied me with the kind of focus that made me feel like I was the only person in the world. "Thank you for meeting me, Mr. Moretti. I've reviewed what your assistant sent over, and I have some initial concepts. Before we discuss business, would you like lunch?" I took the liberty of having the chef prepare a tasting menu. "Unless you have dietary restrictions?" "No restrictions, but good, then please eat. We can talk while we enjoy the food." It wasn't a request exactly, but it wasn't quite a command either. Just a man used to getting his way through sheer presence. The food was incredible, course after course of perfectly executed Italian cuisine. And while we ate, Dante asked questions. Not about the branding at first, but about me. "How long have you been a designer?" 5 years professionally. Freelance for the last 2. "Why freelance?" "Freedom. Control. I like choosing my projects. And you chose mine." "Why?" I paused, fork halfway to my mouth. "Your assistant's email mentioned you wanted something that balanced tradition and innovation. That's my specialty, taking classic elements and making them feel fresh." "Interesting. And in your personal life, do you prefer tradition or innovation?" "That's not really relevant to menu design." His smile was slight but devastating. "Humor me. Innovation, usually. I like trying new things, taking risks." "Risks," he repeated, like the word meant something specific to him. What's the biggest risk you've taken recently? Meeting a potential client in a private dining room without knowing anything about him beyond his restaurant's reputation. That made him laugh. A real laugh, not just polite amusement. Fair, let me remedy that. I'm Dante Moretti, as you know. I own 3 restaurants in Manhattan, 2 in Brooklyn. I'm from Rome originally, moved here 10 years ago. I value loyalty, honesty, and people who aren't afraid to speak their mind. And I've been wanting to meet you for quite some time. Why? Because you're talented. Your portfolio is exceptional. That rebrand you did for the bookstore in Greenwich Village was brilliant. Traditional typography with modern color palettes. Classic structure with contemporary energy. Exactly what I need. Thank you. But that doesn't explain why you've wanted to meet me specifically. Maybe I appreciate talent when I see it. Maybe I have a good feeling about you. Does there need to be another reason? Yes, my instincts screamed. There's definitely another reason. But I just said, I suppose not. Should we discuss the project specifics? We spent the next hour going over his vision. He wanted the restaurants to feel like family, like tradition, but appeal to a younger, more diverse clientele. He wanted elegance without pretension, warmth without kitsch. I love it, I said, already seeing the designs in my mind. I can have initial concepts to you in 2 weeks. Perfect. And Sophia? He used my first name for the first time. I'd like to meet weekly while you work on this, to ensure we're aligned. Weekly seems excessive for a branding project. I'm very particular about my businesses, and I find I work best when I can collaborate closely with the designer. Is that a problem? It should be. Weekly meetings with this intense, too handsome man who looked at me like I was something rare and valuable. But I needed this job. The pay was exceptional, and Moretti's reputation would open doors. Not a problem. We can set up a regular schedule. Excellent. Every Monday here lunch. That gives you the week to work, and me the chance to see your progress. He walked me out personally, and at the door, he took my hand again. This time he turned it over, exposing my wrist, and I saw him notice the small flower tattoo there, a forget-me-not I'd gotten on impulse years ago. Beautiful, he said quietly. Forget-me-nots. True love and memories. A romantic choice. You know flower meanings? I have an interest in them. They say so much without words, don't you think? Something about his tone made my heart race. But before I could respond, he released my hand. Until Monday, Sophia. I look forward to working with you. I walked home in a daze, my mind spinning. There was something about Dante Moretti. Something familiar I couldn't place. Something that made every instinct I had scream both run away and move closer. When I got home, the gardenias were fully open, their scent filling my apartment. I pulled out my flower journal, flipping through a year's worth of sketches. Day 47. Forget-me-nots. My breath caught. I grabbed my phone, scrolling through the photos I'd taken of each arrangement. Day after day of different flowers, but I started seeing a pattern. Flowers that meant loyalty, strength, patience, admiration, beauty. All the things someone would want to say if they were too careful or too proud to say them out loud. And Dante Moretti had recognized my forget-me-not tattoo instantly, had known the meaning without hesitation. No, I said out loud to my empty apartment. No way, that's insane. There's no way. But the more I thought about it, the more pieces clicked together. The timing of the restaurant opening, 6 months ago, halfway through the flower deliveries. The way he'd looked at me like he already knew me. The fact that he'd wanted to meet me for quite some time. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. Did you like today's gardenias? They mean secret love, refinement, purity. I thought they suited you. My hands shook as I typed back. Who is this? 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then reappeared. Someone who's been waiting for the right moment to introduce himself properly. Did I choose well? Monday, at lunch. When I finally got to look into your eyes instead of just imagining them. Oh my God, Dante guilty. Though technically I've been signing my name on every arrangement. You just didn't know it yet. I looked at the gardenias, at the year of flowers arranged around my apartment, at the journal full of meanings and messages I'd been too blind to decode. You've been sending me flowers for a year. 5 days. Different flowers, same message. I see you. I admire you. I want to know you. And I'm patient enough to wait for you to be ready to know me. This is insane. This is romance. There's a difference. Romance would include a name, a note, some indication of who was sending them. Romance would have scared you away. You're independent, guarded, skeptical of grand gestures. If I'd introduced myself a year ago, you would have dismissed me as some rich guy with too much money and too little sense. So I waited. Let you get used to being thought of. Let you wonder. Let the flowers speak for me until I could speak for myself. I sat down hard on my couch, staring at the text. A year. He'd planned this for a year. Sent flowers every single day for 365 days, researching meanings, choosing arrangements, paying for deliveries, all while waiting for the right moment to reveal himself. That was either the most romantic or most terrifying thing I'd ever experienced. How did you even know about me? I saw you at a coffee shop 14 months ago. You were sketching in a notebook, completely absorbed, and you had this expression, like the whole world disappeared except what you were creating. I asked the barista who you were, found your website, hired someone to research you. Nothing invasive, just public information. And I started sending flowers. You hired someone to research me? I'm a thorough man, Sophia. When I want something, I learn everything I can about it first. And I wanted to know you. This is stalking. This is literally stalking. This is courtship. Old-fashioned patient courtship. I never invaded your privacy. Never followed you or made you uncomfortable. Just sent flowers and waited. If you'd asked the florist to stop the deliveries, I would have. If you'd seemed distressed instead of curious, I would have backed off. But you kept them. Kept everyone. Started sketching them. Researching the meanings. You were talking back, Sophia, even if you didn't know who you were talking to. He wasn't wrong. I had kept every flower. Had spent hours researching meanings, wondering about the sender. In a way, we'd been having a conversation for a year. Me through my curiosity, him through his choices. Why tell me now? Why not just keep it a secret? Because 365 days is enough patience, even for me. Because I want to know you in person, not just through flower deliveries. Because, Sophia, I'm falling in love with an idea of you, and I want to know the reality. Want to hear your voice, learn your thoughts, see you smile. Want you to know who's been thinking about you every single morning for a year. My heart was racing. This was crazy, insane, completely irrational. I need time to think about this. Take all the time you need. But Sophia? I'll still be here Monday for our meeting. Still be sending flowers. Still be patient, because you're worth waiting for. You've been worth every single day. He didn't text again. Just left me sitting in my flower-filled apartment, trying to process that Dante Moretti, successful restaurateur, undeniably attractive man, apparent romantic, had been secretly courting me for an entire year. And despite every logical thought in my head saying this was ridiculous, a small part of me whispered, "How do you feel about him?" I looked at the gardenias, at my journal, at the evidence of someone thinking about me, consistently and thoughtfully, for 365 consecutive days. And I realized I was curious. More than curious, I wanted to know more about the man who'd speak in flowers for a year, rather than risk rejection with words. Monday suddenly seemed very far away. I didn't sleep that night. Instead, I did what any rational person would do when they discover their year-long anonymous admirer is a successful restaurateur who researched them and sent 365 different flower arrangements. I Googled him Dante Moretti, age 34, owner of Moretti Restaurant Group, 5 upscale Italian restaurants across New York. Born in Rome, moved to the U.S. at 24. Net worth estimated at... I stopped reading when I saw the number. The man had more money than I'd make in 10 lifetimes, but money wasn't what caught my attention. It was the photos. Dante at charity galas, always alone. Dante at restaurant openings, surrounded by people but somehow isolated. Dante in business articles described as intensely private and strategically brilliant. No girlfriend in any photo. No dating rumors. Just a successful, solitary man who apparently spent his free time researching flower meanings and planning elaborate year-long courtships. You're insane, I told my laptop screen at 3 a.m. Both of you. He's insane for doing this, and you're insane for being charmed by it. But I was charmed. God help me, I was charmed. At 8 a.m., after 0 sleep and too much coffee, I called Lily. He's been sending the flowers. Dante, my new client. He's been sending them for a year. Silence. Then, I'm coming over. Don't move. Don't do anything. I'm coming over right now. She arrived 20 minutes later with bagels and more coffee, took one look at my apartment full of flowers and said, "Okay, start from the beginning. Leave nothing out." I told her everything. The meeting, the text, the year of planning, the research. When I finished, Lily was staring at me with an expression I couldn't read. "So let me get this straight. A gorgeous, successful man has been sending you carefully chosen flowers with specific meanings for 365 consecutive days. He researched you but didn't invade your privacy. He waited patiently for the right moment to introduce himself. And now he wants to actually date you. Is that correct?" "Yes." "And you're worried because it's crazy." "Who does that?" "Someone who's serious, someone who's thoughtful, someone who's—" "Sophia, this is literally the most romantic thing I've ever heard. Most guys can't remember to text back. This man spent a year courting you through flowers. It's obsessive. It's dedicated. There's a difference." She grabbed my flower journal, flipping through it. "Look at this. Forget-me-nots, gardenias, orchids. He was telling you a story." "Don't forget me. I'm here. You're rare and beautiful. Sophia, these aren't random. This is a man who puts thought into everything. That's what worries me. What if I'm just another project? Another thing to acquire? Did he feel like that at lunch?" I thought about Dante's eyes. The way he'd listened to me talk about design like every word mattered. The way he'd noticed my tattoo. The way his voice had softened when he'd said, "beautiful." "No," I admitted. "He felt real. Then maybe give him a chance? See what happens at Monday's meeting? You don't have to decide everything now. Just see if the reality matches the year of romance." She was right. I had 5 days until Monday. 5 days to decide if I was brave enough to explore this or smart enough to walk away. On Saturday, the flowers arrived as usual. This time purple hyacinths. I immediately looked up the meaning. "Please forgive me, and I'm sorry." My phone buzzed. I realized I may have overwhelmed you. The revelation, the year of secrecy, the intensity. If I've made you uncomfortable, I apologize. The flowers will stop if you ask. The Monday meeting can be strictly business. I'll follow your lead, Sophia. Always. I stared at the message. He was giving me an out, offering to back off completely if I wanted. That took the obsessive edge off and made it feel more like a choice. My choice. Don't stop the flowers. And Monday can be whatever it needs to be. But I have questions. Ask me anything. Why me? Out of everyone in New York, why did you see me in a coffee shop and decide I was worth a year of your time? His response took a few minutes. You were drawing in your notebook, completely absorbed. Someone bumped your table and you didn't even notice. You were in your own world, creating something, and you looked peaceful, content. I spend my days managing restaurants, dealing with problems, handling people. And there you were, just existing in this bubble of creativity and calm. I wanted to know what that felt like. Wanted to be part of whatever world you were creating in that notebook. So I found out your name, looked at your work. And Sophia, you create beautiful things. You see potential in old ideas and make them new. You take tradition and innovation and blend them into something unique. That's rare. You're rare, and I wanted to know you. I read it 3 times. My chest tight. You could have just introduced yourself at the coffee shop. Like a normal person, I could have. But you would have seen a stranger in an expensive suit trying to hit on you. You would have been polite, maybe given me a fake number, and that would have been it. I wanted you to know me first, even if you didn't realize it. Every flower was me saying, I see you. I appreciate you. I'm here. And when you finally knew who I was, I wanted you to have a year of evidence that I'm patient, that I'm serious, that this isn't a game or a conquest. It's me, genuinely wanting to know Sophia Chen. This is the most elaborate thing anyone's ever done for me. Good. You deserve elaborate. You deserve someone who puts in effort, who doesn't just want you, but wants to earn you. I sat with that for a long time. Then I did something impulsive. I grabbed my sketchbook and started drawing. Not for work, not for clients, but for me. For him. I drew the gardenias from yesterday, then the hyacinths from today. Then, working from memory in my journal, I sketched highlights from the year. The roses, the orchids, the forget-me-nots. Each flower became part of a larger composition, a garden growing across the pages. When I finished, I took a photo and sent it to him. You told a story with flowers. I'm telling one back, with art. His response was immediate. It's beautiful. You're beautiful. Can I see the original on Monday? Maybe. If you tell me why you're really so interested in flower meanings. My mother had a garden in Rome. She taught me that flowers are a language, that you can say things with blooms that words complicate. When she died, I couldn't talk about it, couldn't explain the loss, so I sent my father flowers instead, different ones each week, each meaning something I couldn't say out loud. He understood, and I learned that sometimes the most important things are better said without words. I'm sorry about your mother. Thank you. She would have liked you, would have said you have kind eyes and a stubborn spirit. How do you know I have a stubborn spirit? We've had one lunch. Because you kept every flower instead of throwing them away or demanding answers. Because you researched the meanings instead of just accepting them as pretty. Because you're independent enough to be suspicious of grand gestures, but curious enough to wonder about them anyway. Stubborn spirit, Sophia. I recognize it because I have one too. Monday arrived too quickly and not quickly enough. I changed outfits 4 times before settling on a dress that said professional, but I put in effort. Then I changed again because it seemed like I was trying too hard. Then back to the first dress because I was overthinking everything. You look great, I told my reflection. You're a talented designer going to a business meeting. The fact that your client has been secretly in love with you for a year is just a detail. At Moretti's, I was shown to the same private dining room. Dante was already there, standing by the window, and when he turned, I forgot how to breathe. He was wearing dark jeans and a black button-down with the sleeves rolled up, exposing forearms with subtle ink, Italian phrases I couldn't quite read from this distance. Clean-shaven, dark hair perfectly styled, strong jawline, and those eyes that seemed to see straight through me. Sophia, you came. Did you think I wouldn't? I hoped. But I wasn't certain. He moved closer. You look beautiful. Thank you. You look... I trailed off, not wanting to admit how good he looked. Like a man who's been nervous all weekend? He smiled slightly. Because I have been, wondering if I scared you off. If the flowers would stop being charming and start being creepy. If you'd show up today or send an email canceling the project. I considered it. I admitted. The canceling part. This is a lot, Dante. I know. And if it's too much, I'll back off. The project is real. I do want your designs. But Sophia, I also want to know you. Really know you. Not just through flowers and texts, but in person. Conversations over lunch, learning your opinions, hearing you laugh. Can we try that? Today, just lunch. Just talking. And you can decide after if you want more. And if I decide I don't, then I'll be disappointed. But I'll respect it. I'll still use your designs because they're brilliant. And I'll stop sending flowers if you ask. His voice dropped. But I hope you don't ask. I looked at him. This man who'd spent a year courting me in secret. Who spoke in flower meanings and researched my work. Who looked at me like I was something precious. I have conditions. Name them. First, the flowers continue. I've gotten used to them. His smile was devastating. Done, what else? Second, we take this slow. I don't know you, Dante. Not really. And despite the romance of the gesture, this is still basically starting from scratch. Agreed. Slow. As slow as you need. Third, you answer my questions honestly. No more secrets. No more research without telling me. If we're going to do this, we do it with actual communication. Fair. I'll tell you anything you want to know. He moved to the table, pulling out my chair, starting with lunch. Ask me whatever you want. We sat, and as food arrived, I started asking about his childhood in Rome, his move to New York, how he built his restaurant business. He answered everything openly, and slowly the man behind the flowers came into focus. He was driven but not ruthless. Successful but lonely. Romantic but pragmatic. And when he talked about his mother's garden or his father's quiet grief, I saw vulnerability underneath the polished exterior. Your turn, he said after an hour. I've been researching you for 14 months, but I want to hear it from you. Who is Sophia Chen beyond her portfolio? So I told him about my mother's expectations and my need to prove myself, about choosing art over the law degree my parents wanted, about building a freelance career from nothing and being proud of that independence. That's why the flowers meant something, I realized aloud. They weren't trying to impress me with money or pressure me with intensity. They were just there, consistent, appreciating me without demanding anything back. Exactly. I wanted you to feel seen. Not pursued, not pressured, just seen. Every morning, someone thinking about you, choosing something meaningful for you, saying you matter without asking for anything in return. I stopped, overwhelmed. That's actually really beautiful. You're really beautiful. Inside and out. He reached across the table, stopping just short of touching my hand. Can I be honest about something? That was the deal. I'm falling in love with you. Have been for a year, through research and flower meanings and imagining conversations. But now, sitting here, actually talking to you, it's deeper, scarier, because you're real. You're funny and sharp and talented and complicated. And Sophia, I want to know every complication. Want to learn all your edges and corners and secret soft places. But I know that's intense. So I'm going to be patient. I'm going to take this as slow as you need. But I need you to know, I'm serious. This isn't casual for me. It never has been. My heart was pounding. What if I can't match that intensity? What if I need time to catch up to where you've been for a year? Then I'll wait. I've proven I'm good at waiting. His smile was soft. I've got time, Sophia. And you're worth every second. I should be scared. Should run from this level of devotion. But looking at Dante, at the patience in his eyes, the hope barely contained, I felt something shift. Okay, I heard myself say. We can try this. Slow, like we said. But Dante, I need you to understand something. I'm independent. I don't need to be saved or taken care of. If we do this, it's as equals. I wouldn't want it any other way. I don't want to save you, Sophia. I want to stand beside you. Support you when you want support. Step back when you need space. Partners, not rescuer and rescued. Partners, I repeated. I like that better than some grand romantic gesture. The flowers were the grand gesture. Everything after is just us, figuring out how we fit. He finally took my hand, his thumb brushing over my forget-me-not tattoo. So, Sophia Chen, will you have dinner with me this weekend? Not a business meeting, an actual date. Just us getting to know each other. Yes, but I'm paying for my half. Absolutely not. Dante, I've been planning this for a year. Let me at least buy you dinner. I wanted to argue, but something in his expression, hopeful, almost boyish, made me relent. Fine, but next time I pay. Next time, he agreed, like those words were a promise. So there will be a next time. Maybe. If you don't send me orchids tomorrow. I'm running out of space. He laughed, genuinely laughed, and the sound made something warm bloom in my chest. Noted. I'll choose something smaller, maybe daisies. Innocence and new beginnings. You really do know all the meanings. I told you. Flowers are a language. And Sophia, I've been talking to you for a year. I'm glad you're finally talking back. We stayed for another hour, conversation flowing easily now that the tension had broken. When I finally left, portfolio full of sketches and mind full of possibility, I felt lighter than I had in months. My phone buzzed before I even made it home. Thank you for giving me a chance. And Sophia? I meant what I said. Every word, every flower, every day. You're worth all of it. I looked at the message for a long time before responding. Show me. Not with flowers or grand gestures, just with time and patience and actually getting to know each other. Can you do that? Yes, I can do that. Though the flowers aren't stopping. That's non-negotiable. Despite everything, I smiled. I wouldn't want them to. The flowers continued. Every morning a new arrangement, smaller now, as I'd requested. Daisies, violets, small bouquets of herbs with meaning, rosemary for remembrance, thyme for courage, basil for love, and every morning, a text from Dante, nothing demanding, nothing intense, just simple things. Good morning. Hope your client meeting goes well today. Saw this quote about art and thought of you. Art enables us to find ourselves and lose ourselves at the same time. Thomas Merton, working on menu revisions. Your design concepts are brilliant. You make tradition feel fresh. It was courting in a different way. Daily, consistent, thoughtful without being overwhelming. And despite my determination to take things slow, I found myself looking forward to his messages, to the flowers, to the evidence that someone was thinking about me. By Friday, I was nervous about our date, in a way I hadn't been nervous about anyone in years. What do I wear? I asked Lily over video chat, holding up 2 dresses. The blue one shows you put in effort, but you're not trying too hard. She grinned. I can't believe you're going on a date with the flower guy. This is literally a romance novel. This is real life with a man I barely know. A man who spent a year proving he's serious. Sophia, most guys can't commit to a second date. This one committed to 365 days of flowers before even talking to you. He's serious. That's what worries me. What if I can't match that level of intensity? Then tell him. He said partners equals, right? Partners communicate. She was right. So when Dante texted asking where I wanted to go for dinner, I responded honestly. Somewhere you love, not somewhere fancy to impress me. Somewhere that's actually you, are you sure? It's not upscale, I'm sure. Show me your world, not the polished version. There was a pause, then, okay, but fair warning, it's in Brooklyn, it's loud, and my family might be there. Still interested? Your family? My father owns a small trattoria, where I learned to cook, where I got my start. If you want to see the real me, that's where it began. Then that's where we go. Saturday evening, Dante picked me up in a car that was nice but not ostentatious, a deliberate choice, I suspected, to show me he'd heard my concerns about equality. You look beautiful, he said when I got in. Then softer. You always do. But tonight especially. You clean up pretty well yourself. He'd dressed down. Dark jeans, black Henley, leather jacket. More approachable, less intimidating. His tattoos were visible now, Italian phrases running down his forearms, religious imagery on his inner wrist. Can I ask what they say? I gestured to his arms. This one. He indicated his right forearm. La familia è tutto. Family is everything. My father's words. And this one, left forearm. Memento vivere. Remember to live. Something I forgot for a long time after my mother died. And the religious ones? Saint Michael, protector. My mother's favorite saint. She used to say he'd watch over me when she couldn't anymore. His voice was soft, vulnerable. The tattoos remind me where I come from. What matters? They keep me grounded when success tries to make me forget. I touched his arm gently, tracing the Italian words. They're beautiful. You're beautiful. His breath caught. Sophia, sorry, was that too much? No one's called me beautiful before. Successful, intimidating, driven, but never beautiful. Well, you are, inside and out. The year of flowers proved the inside part. His smile was devastating. We should go, before I do something impulsive like kiss you in this car and ruin the whole taking it slow plan. Would that be so bad? Yes, because when I kiss you, and I will kiss you, Sophia, it won't be rushed in a car. It'll be perfect, memorable, worth the wait. My heart raced the entire drive to Brooklyn. The trattoria was small, warm, loud with conversation and laughter. Not fancy, just authentic. Checkered tablecloths, wine bottles as decoration, the smell of garlic and tomatoes and fresh bread filling the air. Dante. An older man appeared from the kitchen, short, round, with Dante's eyes and a chef's apron. You brought a girl. Finally. Papa, this is Sophia Chen. Sophia, my father, Antonio Moretti. Antonio grabbed my hands, beaming. Beautiful. And you do art, yes? Dante tells me you make his restaurants look good. I try. It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Moretti. Antonio, please. Mr. Moretti was my father. May he rest. He pulled me toward a corner table. Sit. I make you something special. Dante, help me in the kitchen. Papa, now ragazzo. Let me feed your girl properly. When they disappeared into the kitchen, I sat alone for maybe 30 seconds before a woman about my age approached. Dark hair, warm smile, curious eyes. You're Sophia. The one he's been talking about for months. Months? I'm Gianna, Dante's cousin. I help run the front here. She sat across from me, grinning. He's been planning this date since the flowers started. We all knew about them. The whole family's been invested. The whole family knows about me? Are you kidding? Dante doesn't date. Ever. He works. He builds businesses. He takes care of Papa. But dating, romance, We thought he'd forgotten how. Then suddenly he's researching flower meanings and asking my nonna about old courtship traditions. Of course we knew. This is mortifying. This is romantic. Sophia, my cousin, he's complicated. Carries a lot. His mama's death hit him hard, and he closed off for years. But you opened something up. He smiles now. Actually smiles. She squeezed my hand. Thank you for giving him a chance. Before I could respond, Dante returned with his father, both carrying platters of food. The next 2 hours were a blur of incredible food, warm conversation, and Dante's family casually rotating through to meet the girl who captured Dante. It was overwhelming and wonderful, and nothing like the formal date I'd expected. Is it always like this? I asked Dante between courses. The family chaos? Always, we're Italian. Subtle isn't in our vocabulary. He looked concerned. Is it too much? No, it's nice, real. This is you, isn't it? Not the successful businessman. This. Family and food and noise. This is where I started, where I come back when I need to remember what matters. He took my hand across the table. I wanted you to see it. To know that the restaurants, the money, the success, that's not the foundation. This is family, tradition, connection. This is what I'm building toward, not away from. What do you mean building toward? I mean, I don't want to just own restaurants. I want to create places where families gather, where people connect, where tradition matters but evolution happens. Like what you do with design, taking classic and making it new. That's what I want for my life. Classic foundation, new expression. That's Dante, that's beautiful. You're beautiful. And Sophia, I need to tell you something, okay? My family loves you. Can you hear them? I listened. From the kitchen, I heard Antonio telling someone she's perfect for him, and Gianna laughing about, finally, someone to balance him out. They've decided, Dante said. You're part of the family now. Whether we work out or not, you're adopted. I apologize in advance for all the interference that's about to happen in your life. Interference? Gianna will want to be your friend. Papa will insist on feeding you weekly. My nonna, who you haven't met yet but will start planning our wedding before we finish appetizers next time. It's a lot. If it's too much, tell me now. I thought about it. About this warm, chaotic family who'd welcomed me instantly. About Dante, who'd been patient for a year and was now sharing his foundation with me. About how this felt nothing like I'd expected and everything like I needed. It's not too much. But Dante, you have to tell them we're taking it slow. That we barely know each other. That this might not work out. I could tell them that. But Sophia, I don't believe it. You don't believe we're taking it slow? I don't believe this won't work out. Call it instinct, call it certainty, call it a year of planning paying off. But I know. We're going to work out. You're going to be part of this family, and someday, when you're ready, I'm going to make you my wife. I should panic, should run from that level of certainty, but looking at him, at the hope and patience and absolute conviction in his eyes, I felt something shift inside me. You're very sure of yourself. I'm very sure of you. Of us. And Sophia, I'm willing to wait for you to be sure too. Take all the time you need. I'll be here. With flowers every morning? With flowers every morning. Until you tell me to stop. And even then, I might argue. Despite everything, I laughed. You're impossible. I'm in love with you. There's a difference. Later, after dinner and meeting what felt like the entire Moretti extended family, Dante drove me home. We sat in the car outside my building, neither of us wanting the night to end. Thank you for tonight, I said. For showing me your world. Thank you for being part of it. He reached over, tucking a strand of hair behind my ear. Can I see you again? Soon? How soon? Tomorrow? Too eager? Maybe, but I like eager. I surprised myself by adding, come to my studio tomorrow. See my workspace. See my world. I'd love that. What time? Afternoon? I have a deadline to finish in the morning. Afternoon it is. His hand lingered near my face. Sophia, may I kiss you goodnight? Just once. I've been thinking about it all evening. My heart raced. I thought you said it would be perfect. Memorable. Kissing you goodnight after you met my family and said yes to tomorrow? That sounds perfect to me. He leaned in slowly, giving me time to pull away. But I didn't. I met him halfway. The kiss was soft, gentle, reverent, like he was memorizing the moment. His hand cupped my face, and I felt him smile against my lips. When we broke apart, he rested his forehead against mine. Worth the year of waiting. Just a year? Worth a lifetime, but the year makes it sweeter. He kissed me once more, quickly. Go inside, before I forget how to be a gentleman and keep you in this car all night. Would that be so bad? Terrible. I promise slow, and I keep my promises. But his eyes said he was tempted. Tomorrow, Sophia. I'll see you tomorrow. I floated up to my apartment, and my phone buzzed before I even closed the door. I'm already counting the hours until tomorrow. And Sophia, that kiss? That was just the beginning. Wait until you see what else I've been planning. I thought we agreed no more grand gestures. Not grand, just thoughtful. There's a difference. Sleep well, bellissima. Dream of me. I fell asleep smiling, surrounded by flowers, dreaming of a man who'd spent a year learning to speak my language. And for the first time in a long time, I thought, maybe this is what love is supposed to feel like. Patient, thoughtful, worth waiting for. Sunday morning, the flowers arrived early. White tulips, forgiveness and worthiness. The card, for the first time in 366 days, had a note for last night. For the kiss. For saying yes to today. You're worth every moment. D.I. took a photo and texted him. You signed it. After 366 days, you finally signed it. Because now you know it's me. No more secrets. Just us. Just us. I like that. Me too. See you at 2? See you at 2. I spent the morning cleaning my studio. Not the professional clean I do for clients, but the personal kind. Putting away the embarrassing early sketches, organizing my chaos into something presentable, then stopping myself because Dante had said he wanted to see the real me. So I left the half-finished concepts scattered on my desk. Left the coffee cups and pencil shavings and sticky notes with random ideas. Left evidence of my process, messy and real. At exactly 2 p.m., my buzzer rang. Come up. 3rd floor, door on the left. When I opened the door, Dante was holding a paper bag and wearing jeans and a simple gray t-shirt that somehow looked expensive. More tattoos were visible now. Phrases wrapping around his biceps, religious imagery on his forearms. I brought lunch. Hope you haven't eaten. I've been too nervous to eat. Nervous? Why? Because you're seeing where I work, where I create. That feels more intimate than dinner with your family somehow. He set the bag down and pulled me close. Good, I want intimate. Want to see all of you, Sophia, not just the polished version. My studio was small, a converted loft space with huge windows, natural light flooding everything. My desk was chaos, the walls covered in inspiration boards and sketches, a bookshelf overflowing with art books and supplies. Dante walked slowly through the space, studying everything. Not judging, just observing. He stopped at my desk, looking at the spread of current projects. This is the Moretti rebrand? He picked up one of my sketches, the logo concept that blended traditional Italian typography with modern clean lines. Initial concepts. I have 3 more versions to show you this week. They're perfect. Sophia, you took everything I said about tradition and innovation and made it visual. This is exactly what I couldn't articulate. He looked at me. You see into things. Into people. Into ideas. How do you do that? I listen. Watch. Try to understand what people really want, not just what they say they want. And what do I really want? Beyond the rebrand? You want to build something that lasts. Want your restaurants to be gathering places, not just businesses. Want to honor your mother and father and roots while creating something new. I stopped, suddenly shy. Want what? Want someone to build it with. Someone who understands that success isn't the goal. Connection is. Family is. Legacy is. He stared at me. Something raw in his expression. You see me. Actually see me. Not the money or the restaurants or the surface. You see what's underneath. You made it easy. The flowers were like you were showing me your soul one bloom at a time. How could I not see you? He moved closer, backing me gently against my desk. Can I kiss you? I've been thinking about it since I left you last night. We're supposed to be taking it slow. This is slow. I've been waiting since yesterday. For me, that's glacial. But his voice was teasing, his eyes warm. I pulled him down and kissed him first, less gentle than last night, more urgent. His hands framed my face, and I felt him smile against my mouth, before deepening the kiss. When we broke apart, both breathing hard, he rested his forehead against mine. Okay, maybe not that slow. Maybe slow is overrated. Don't tempt me, Bellissima. I'm trying to be a gentleman here. What if I don't want a gentleman? Then you should definitely stop looking at me like that, because my self-control is not infinite. He stepped back, putting deliberate distance between us. Show me more of your work, before I forget we're supposed to be getting to know each other. I showed him everything. My portfolio, my process, the projects I was proud of and the ones that had challenged me. He asked thoughtful questions, genuinely interested, and I found myself explaining things I rarely talked about. This one. I pulled out a sketchbook from 2 years ago. This was my first solo client after going freelance. A bookstore in Greenwich Village. They wanted traditional, but their customer base was young and diverse. So I took classic typefaces in modern colors, old-world charm with contemporary energy. This is the one I saw online, the one that made me want to hire you. He studied the pages. You made it look effortless. But this, he pointed to crossed-out sketches, notes in the margins. This shows the work, the thinking. Design is problem-solving. Making it look effortless is the hardest part. Like romance. His eyes met mine. Making it look spontaneous when really it's 365 days of planning. Is that what the flowers were? Problem-solving? The flowers were me trying to figure out how to reach someone who values independence and authenticity. How to show interest without pressure. How to say, I see you without demanding to be seen back. You were the problem, Sophia. The flowers were my solution. I was a problem? The best kind. The kind I wanted to solve, not avoid. He set down the sketchbook. Can I ask you something personal? Okay. Why are you single? Someone like you. Talented, beautiful, sharp. Why hasn't someone claimed you already? Claimed? I'm not a territory. Poor word choice. Why hasn't someone convinced you they're worth your time? I considered how honest to be, then remembered. Partners communicate. Because most men want a version of me that's easier. Less intense about work. More available. Less independent. They like the idea of dating an artist until they realize art is my priority. That I'll cancel dates for deadlines. That I need solitude to create. That success matters to me as much as relationships. I met his eyes. I'm not easy to date, Dante. I'm focused and driven, and sometimes I disappear into projects for days. Why do you think that's going to work? Because I'm the same way. I disappear into my restaurants. Work 18-hour days sometimes. Cancel plans when a crisis happens. Sophia, I'm not looking for easy. I'm looking for equal. For someone who understands that passion for work doesn't mean lack of passion for people. It means you care deeply about what you build. I don't want to compete with your art. I want to support it, and I want you to support my work. Partners, remember? That's actually what I needed to hear. Good. Because it's true. And Sophia, I find your intensity attractive. The way you obsess over getting a design exactly right. The way you defend your creative choices. The way you just backed me against your own argument about being difficult. That's not a flaw. That's passion. And I want all of it. My phone rang, interrupting the moment. I almost ignored it, but saw my mother's name. I should take this. She only calls if it's important. Of course, I answered in Mandarin, and immediately knew something was wrong. My mother's voice was tight, controlled, her worried voice. After 5 minutes of rapid conversation, I hung up, my hands shaking. What's wrong? Dante was beside me immediately, my father. Heart attack. He's in surgery now. I need to go to California. Today. Now. Okay, let's get you packed. I'll drive you to the airport. Dante, you don't have to... Partners, Sophia. You said it yourself. Partners show up. Let me help. 2 hours later, I was packed and Dante was driving me to JFK. He'd called ahead, upgraded my ticket to first class despite my protests, and was now making sure I had everything I needed. Call me when you land, and when you get to the hospital, and whenever you need to talk. Dante, I don't know how long I'll be gone. Could be days, weeks. The branding project will wait. Family is more important. Always. He pulled over at departures. Come here. He kissed me, soft and reassuring. Your father is going to be fine. And whatever you need, flights for your mother, hotel rooms, anything, you call me. Okay? I can't ask you to... You're not asking. I'm offering. Actually, I'm insisting. Let me help, Sophia. Why? We've known each other a week. Why do you care this much? Because I've loved you for over a year. Because you're important to me. Because when someone I love is hurting, I help. That's what you do. He cupped my face gently. Go, be with your family. I'll be here when you get back. Promise? I've waited this long. I'm not going anywhere. I kissed him once more, then grabbed my bag and rushed into the terminal. California was a blur. The hospital, my mother's tears, my father's pale face in the ICU. Surgery had gone well, but recovery would be long. My mother needed support. My father needed care, and I needed to be there. But every night Dante called. Not long conversations. He understood I was exhausted, but just to check in. To make sure I was okay. To remind me he was thinking of me. How's your father today? Better. Awake more. Complaining about hospital food, which Mom says is a good sign. That's wonderful. And how are you? Tired? Worried? Missing New York? Missing New York or missing me? Both, mostly you. Is that allowed after one date? Considering I fell in love after seeing you once in a coffee shop, I'd say yes. It's definitely allowed. And every morning, even in California, flowers arrived at my hotel. Different ones each day, with meanings my mother researched and approved of. This boy is serious, she said in Mandarin, admiring the orchids from day 3, rare beauty and strength. He sees you clearly. It's only been a week, Mom. Your father proposed after 3 weeks. When you know, you know. She looked at me seriously. This Dante, he makes you happy? Yes, and nervous, and confused, but yes, happy. Then maybe let yourself be happy. You work so hard, Sophia, so independent, so focused. Maybe it's okay to let someone in. On day 7 in California, with my father stable and starting physical therapy, I finally had a moment to breathe. I called Dante from the hotel room. How are you holding up? His voice was warm, concerned, better. Dad's improving. Mom's calmer. I think I can come home in a few days. That's good news. But Sophia, take all the time you need. Your family needs you, I know. But I miss you. Is that crazy? We barely know each other. It's not crazy. I miss you too. Your smile. Your laugh. The way you argue with me about paying for things. The way you look when you're thinking through a design problem. His voice softened. Come home when you're ready. I'll be here, with flowers and patience and whatever you need. Dante, yes? Thank you. For the flowers. For the calls. For not making me feel guilty about leaving right when we were starting something. Sophia, you didn't leave. You went to take care of family. That's different. That's you being the person I fell in love with. Loyal, caring, someone who shows up for the people she loves. I don't want to change that. I want to support it. You really are perfect, aren't you? Far from it. But I'm perfect for you. There's a difference. Maybe you are. Maybe we are. Say that again when you get home, in person, so I can kiss you properly and remind you why you missed me. Deal. 3 days later, I flew home. Dante was waiting at arrivals with coffee and a single white rose. 1 rose? I asked, taking it. After a week of bouquets? New beginnings deserve simplicity. Plus, he pulled me close. I've been saving something. What? This. He kissed me right there in the airport, deep and sure and absolutely perfect. When we broke apart, I was breathless. Welcome home, Sophia. It's good to be home. Really good. Come on. I'm taking you to dinner. Somewhere quiet, just us, and you're going to tell me everything. And then, he smiled, we're going to figure out what happens next. Together. Together, I repeated. I like the sound of that. So do I, Bellissima. So do I. 3 months after I returned from California, I woke up to something different. No flowers on my doorstep. For 455 consecutive days, Dante had sent flowers. Every single morning without fail. And today, nothing. I checked my phone. No text, no explanation. Just silence. My heart sank. Had something happened? Was he okay? Or worse? Had he finally gotten tired of the pursuit now that we were actually together? I was mid-panic when my buzzer rang. Sophia, it's me. Can I come up? Dante, at 7 a.m. on a Wednesday. That was unusual. We usually waited until evening, respecting each other's work schedules. I buzzed him up, and when I opened the door, he was holding a single envelope. No flowers, just paper. Before you panic, he said, reading my expression. Nothing's wrong. Everything's right. But I need to talk to you. You stopped the flowers. I did. Can I come in? Explain? I stepped aside, and he entered my apartment, the space he'd become familiar with over 3 months of dinners, late-night conversations, slow building of something real and solid. I stopped the flowers, he began, because today marks 456 days since I first saw you in that coffee shop. And Sophia, I think 456 days of flowers have said everything they can say. I love you. I see you. I choose you. Every day. For over a year. I chose you. So you're stopping because it's time for the next chapter. The one where I don't just send flowers. I bring them myself. He handed me the envelope. Open it. Inside was a key. And a note in his distinctive handwriting. This is a key to my loft. To my space, my life, my world. I'm not asking you to move in. Not yet. Though I hope someday you will. I'm asking you to have access. To come and go. To feel like you belong there because you do. You belong with me, Sophia. In every way that matters. The flowers were me saying, I'm here. This key is me saying, you're home. I love you. Not the idea of you. Not the year of imagining. But the reality. You. The real, complicated, brilliant you. And I want to build a life with you. All my love. Always. Dante. I looked up at him, tears streaming down my face. You're giving me a key. I'm giving you access. To everything. My home, my family, my restaurants, my life. No more holding back, no more taking it slow. Sophia, I want you all the way in. If you're ready. What if I'm not ready? Then I'll wait. I'm good at waiting. But Bellissima, I think you are ready. I think you have been for a while. You're just scared to admit it. He was right. Over 3 months, we'd built something solid. Weekly dinners with his family. Late nights working side by side. Him on restaurant plans, me on designs. Keys to each other's apartments. Toothbrushes in bathrooms. That slow integration that meant something real. I'm terrified, I admitted. What if it doesn't work? What if we're too intense, too driven, Then we'll figure it out, together. But Sophia, I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to be extraordinary. Not perfect, extraordinary. The difference is we'll work at it. I looked at the key in my hand. Such a small thing representing something so big. Okay, I'm ready. I'm all the way in. I love you, Dante Moretti. I think I have since that first lunch when you knew what my tattoo meant. When you looked at me like I was rare and worth the wait. I fought it because it felt too fast, too intense. But you know what? Fast can be right. Intense can be perfect. And I'm tired of being scared of something good. His smile was brilliant. Say that again. I love you. Again. I love you, you impossible man who courted me with 456 days of flowers. 55. Today's was a key instead. He pulled me close. And Sophia? I'm going to keep courting you. Maybe not with daily flowers, but with actions. With showing up. With being the partner you deserve. Every single day. That's a big promise. I'm good at keeping promises. I've proven that. He kissed me softly. Now get dressed. We have somewhere to be. Where? The restaurant. Moretti's Manhattan. We're unveiling your rebrand today, remember? Press is coming at noon. I want you there. Want everyone to see the brilliance you created. The rebrand launch was perfect. My designs, the blend of tradition and innovation Dante had wanted, were everywhere. New menus, new signage, new branding that made the restaurant feel both timeless and contemporary. The press loved it. Food bloggers praised the fresh take on classic Italian dining. Business journalists noted, Moretti's strategic evolution appeals to new demographics while honoring its roots. But my favorite moment was watching Dante's father see the new menus. She captured it, Antonio said in Italian, tears in his eyes. What your mama wanted, what we built. But new, better. Dante, she understands. I know, Papa. That's why I love her. Antonio turned to me, switching to English. Sophia Chen, you make my son happy. You make our restaurants beautiful. You understand, family. When you marry him, and you will marry him, I see it. You make us very proud. Papa, we're not... Dante started. Not yet, but soon. I know these things. Antonio winked at me. Patient boy, my Dante, but not stupid. You don't let this one go. After the press left and the restaurant settled into dinner service, Dante pulled me up to the rooftop terrace, a private space above the restaurant where staff sometimes took breaks. I want to show you something. The terrace had been transformed. Fairy lights strung overhead, candles everywhere, and flowers. So many flowers. Arrangements covering every surface, all the varieties he'd sent me over the past year, creating a garden in the sky. Dante, what is this? This is 456 days of flowers, all at once. Every variety I sent you, every meaning, every message. I had my florist recreate them all, because Sophia, each one was me saying something. And tonight, I want to say it all out loud. He moved through the garden, touching different arrangements. Forget-me-nots. Day 47, don't forget me, I'm here. Red roses, day 12. I love you, even though you don't know me yet. Orchids, day 103. You're rare and beautiful and strong. Daisies, day 289. New beginnings, innocence, hope. He stopped in front of the white tulips. Day 366, forgiveness and worthiness. For making you wait to know who I was. Dante, wait. I'm not done. He dropped to one knee, and my breath caught. Day 456, white roses. He pulled out a small box. True love, pure intentions, eternal commitment. Sophia Chen, I've loved you for 456 days. Some of those days, you didn't even know I existed. Some of them, you thought I was crazy. But all of them, every single one, I was certain. I'm not a man who does anything halfway, and loving you is the most complete, certain thing I've ever done. He opened the box, revealing a stunning ring, simple, elegant, a design that somehow felt both classic and modern, exactly like my aesthetic. I had this made 3 months ago. Been carrying it ever since, waiting for the right moment. But Sophia, every moment with you is right, so I'm asking now, will you marry me? Will you let me spend the rest of my life showing you what 456 days of flowers meant? Will you be my partner, my equal, my home? I was crying, laughing, overwhelmed. You're proposing. After 3 months. After 456 days. The 3 months were just you catching up to where I've been all along. His eyes were bright with unshed tears. Is that a yes? Yes, God, yes. Yes to the ring and the proposal and the rest of our lives. Yes to you, Dante Moretti, the man who spoke in flowers until I learned to speak back. He slipped the ring on my finger. Perfect fit. Of course. And then kissed me surrounded by a year's worth of flowers, under fairy lights, with the city spread out below us. When we finally broke apart, he rested his forehead against mine. I'm going to make you so happy. You already do. Every single day, with or without flowers. About that, he pulled out his phone, showing me a calendar reminder. I've already scheduled the next year. Different flowers, different meanings, because Sophia, I'm never going to stop courting you. Marriage doesn't mean I stop trying. It means I try harder. You're impossible. I'm yours. There's a difference. 6 months later, our wedding was at the trattoria. Antonio insisted, said it was where our love story really began, at that first dinner with family. Small ceremony, just close friends and relatives. The restaurant closed for the evening so we could celebrate properly. I wore a simple dress. Dante wore a suit with a white rose boutonniere, and when we exchanged vows, his included a promise that made everyone cry. Sophia, I promise to love you in actions, not just words. To show up every day, not just with flowers but with presence. To be your partner in work and life. To support your dreams while building our own. To never stop courting you. Never stop choosing you. Never stop seeing you the way I saw you 641 days ago in a coffee shop, as someone rare and worth everything. My vows were simpler, but just as true. Dante, I promise to let you love me. To not fight the grand gestures or the daily kindnesses. To be your partner, your equal, your home. To build a life with you that's both traditional and innovative, classic and new. To appreciate every flower and every moment. To love you not despite the intensity, but because of it. You taught me that love can be patient and certain at the same time, and I promise to spend our life proving you right. When we kissed, his family cheered. Antonio cried. Gianna threw so much rice we'd be finding it for weeks. And that night, in our hotel room, Because we were flying to Italy for our honeymoon the next morning, Dante gave me one last gift, a leather-bound journal. Inside pressed flowers, one from every single day of the 456 days he'd sent them. How did you... I had them delivered to me first, pressed them, saved them. Because, Sophia, these weren't just flowers. They were love letters. And I wanted you to have them all. To remember that before we even spoke, I was telling you a story. And that story was, you're worth everything. I cried reading through it. Seeing the flowers I'd researched, the meanings I'd wondered about, all preserved carefully with dates and his notes about why he'd chosen each one. The last page had fresh flowers, white roses, and a note, day 457 and forward. Every day for the rest of our lives, I choose you. No more flowers needed to prove it. Just me, showing up, loving you, building our life together. But Sophia, I'll still surprise you with blooms sometimes, because you deserve to be reminded that you're rare, precious, worth waiting for, worth everything. All my love, forever, your husband. Dante looked at him through tears. You kept every flower. I kept every memory, every day of waiting, every moment of falling in love with an idea and then loving the reality so much more. Sophia, those flowers were my faith that someday you'd be mine. This... He gestured to the ring on my finger, to us in this room as husband and wife. This is the faith realized. I love you so much. I love you too. And Sophia? Thank you. For what? For keeping every flower I sent. For being curious instead of scared. For giving me a chance when 456 days of flowers could have been creepy instead of romantic. For seeing the man behind the gesture. For loving me back. That was easy. You made it impossible not to love you. Patient and persistent and so sure. Who could resist that? You almost did. Those first few weeks after I revealed myself, you could have walked away. I couldn't. You'd already won me with forget-me-nots and gardenias and a year of messages that said, I see you. How do you walk away from someone who sees you? You don't. You marry them. You build a life with them. You wake up every morning grateful that in a city of millions, you happen to walk into a coffee shop on the exact day he was there. That's fate, Sophia. That's destiny. I don't believe in destiny. You don't have to. I believe enough for both of us. He pulled me close. Now come here, Mrs. Moretti. I've waited 641 days to have you as my wife. I'm done waiting. You know, you're going to have to stop counting eventually. Never. I'm going to count every day. Day 641. Married the love of my life. Day 1000. Still deliriously happy. Day 5000. Somehow more in love than day 1. He kissed me softly. I'm keeping track, Bellissima. Every single day. Because you're worth counting. You're ridiculous. I'm in love. Same thing. And as we fell into bed together, married and certain and exactly where we were meant to be, I thought about flowers and patience and men who court you for over a year before asking your name. Sometimes the best love stories start with mystery. With someone seeing you before you see them. With 456 days of anonymous flowers that say everything without words. And sometimes, the best love stories are worth waiting for. Every single day.